Hi friends, this is DaintyTank. Thank you so much for joining me for part 3 of Testimony of Trixie Glimmer Smith. Poke the Totoro. To get the series includes Parsnip, who was before. It's a very interesting series. Last we left off, we went to the spooky abandoned House of Doom, met the adult squirrel heads who talked to us, and then we had the book, like the playbook, the King in Yellow. So we actually gave that to Nikita. Nikita took it and ran, of course. And that's when we found out that this is all a letter to the faculty admin staff. That makes me giggle, because I was wondering, I was sitting there like, that's very interesting as a styling choice, to have everything in past tense. Plus, like, you gotta remember the fact that, like, she's talking about, like, her monster erotica, and, like, it's great. Oh, okay, so we're going to keep... Oh, no! Wait! Load. Okay. Load. That one. Yes. Here we go. So, we went to town because we are supposed to help out Heidi at 5 or 7, depending on when she remembers. Trixie, however, was like, hey, food. So, stop by Gregg's. That's where we left off. Alright, so we just picked the triple chocolate muffin again. Gregg scurried behind the counter and placed the food into a little paper bag. Fortunately, I remembered to bring my wallet today. It's nice to see you again. Sorry the bakery was so busy yesterday. I could see it was making you anxious. It's a lot calmer today. The fact that 2 customers were considered busy made me feel slightly bad for Gregg. Was the bakery not doing well? Oh, no problem. Sorry for being weird yesterday. It was kind of hot, and I'd already fainted once, and like, I get anxious about buying stuff. Gregg laughed sympathetically. Oh no, I hope you're feeling better today. Here, have a bottle of water on the house. That should stop you from fainting again. I felt bad accepting something for free, given my suspicions about Gregg's financial situation. Oh no, that's okay, I'll live. No hiking in the sun for me today. Okay, well, the offer's there. I wouldn't want any of my friends fainting. Oh, he's such a sweet little sugar glider. Oh. You are precious. Their friendliness almost reminded me of Parsnip, though thankfully Gregg seemed to be more capable of conversations and had an actual personality. You seem to like cakes, Trixie. Do you make any yourself? I shook my head. I don't really do much baking or cooking in general, really. I basically just eat snacks and drink energy drinks. I probably have like 4 years left to live. Oh no, I hope not. They giggled. Don't you like cooking? I don't mind cooking, but like... What's that noise? Was that the sound of the bag opening? Subtle. I have kind of a short attention span, so my food usually ends up burnt. That was a slight understatement. The fire brigade had been called twice since I started uni, thanks to me. I used to bake bread with my parents when I was younger, but we just kind of stopped at some point when I got older. Oh, that's sad. I used to bake with my dad a lot. It was really fun. It's probably why I ended up being a baker. You know, I could always use some help around here. I could teach you how to bake treats. That was a really kind offer. I did want to learn baking, even if it was just another way to fuel my sugar addiction. Oh geez, that's really kind. I feel like I'd just waste your time though. I'm a bit of a problem, and you probably don't need that. When you're already having money I trailed off. Gregg seems to see where I was going, and I was worried I'd upset them, but they seemed to hide it. If If you feel up to it, don't worry. I know tomorrow morning probably won't be very busy, though. So feel free to come along if you change your mind. I like the idea. And Gregg was really sweet. Thanks, Gregg. I'll think about it. Sorry, I'm kind of a mess right now. It's been a tough few days. Weeks. Years. No worries. Just let me know if you're coming along. Would you like my number? I'd talk some more, but I have to make a delivery in a few minutes. They motioned towards a wedding cake, a lovely icing statue of two cute mice girls kissing on top. Yay! No, sure, yeah. Gregg passed me a business card. Great, thanks, Trixie. Better close up. I'll see you soon. See you, Gregg. I waved goodbye, left the bakery, munching on my food. I expected Belle would be at the Attic Mouse bar down the road, and I figured I may as well give her a visit to waste some time before I met Heidi later. If just to show I wasn't ignoring her offer. Ooh. Love this. The Attic Mouse had a warm, friendly atmosphere, and I was relieved to see their drinks were super cheap. Good. Cheap bar drinks are the best. I walked inside and found it was pretty quiet. Understandable, really, given the time of day. Belle was sat in the corner by herself with several glasses of alcohol out in front of her. I still just keep having these waves of like, this is a faculty admin ladder. Is anyone reading at this point? I mean, we are, but... okay. I'm not really into alcohol, so I dropped 10 on the bar to pay for my pint of cola and walked over to her. Hey. Hey, Trixie. Nice to see you came along. Sadly, no one else has. Ah, well, we pre-ordered the drink, so more from me, I guess. She downed one of her shots. Oh, I mean, I'm not with groups anyway. Do a lot of people usually show up? Well, there's Gregg. Who have you met? My pal, LaRose, an artist down the Daffodil Lane way. My pal. Wait, you know LaRose? The tall rabbit, though, right? Huh? No way. Nice lady. She hasn't turned up recently, though. She's, well, she ain't been feeling great recently. It's hard for her to find the energy to hang out, you know? There's also Heidi. She's cool. A little scary, but a great gal. She runs a shop here in town. Yeah, I met her yesterday, too. It's kind of a small town. She's more than a little scary, though. Yeah, she's all bark and no bite. Doesn't get on so well with LaRose. They almost ended up glassing each other a few weeks back when Heidi said neo-punk biker art was better than neo-punk bohemian art. Didn't know what either of those are, so I didn't think it was my place to mediate, you know? Oh my god, that was... Oh, that's so specific, but I love that this is such an interconnected universe already. Jeez. It's weird how I met literally all of you by chance yesterday. Almost too weird, I thought. That is weird. We all know each other, and now we all know you too. She took another sip of her drink, and I copied her. Sip my cola. Felt a little awkward and just ended up staring at the TV in the corner for a bit. The Prime Minister was giving a speech about sheepsick. I'm guessing that's Brexit, but sheep exit. Sheepsit. I rolled my eyes and I was getting pretty tired of hearing about it nonstop for the last 2 years. That's fair. This is getting ridiculous. Leaving the Northwest Union just because the official sheep mascot bit the Prime Minister's 4-year-old. It's a lot. It's so petty. Exactly. If she didn't want her kid getting bit, she shouldn't have let her roll around in the grass and then go pet a sheep. We both shook our heads and tutted. So you're like a milkwoman, right? That sounds kind of fun, driving around and seeing places all over. I don't get out so much, so... Nah, it sucks. Oh. Not much traveling either, anymore, I'm afraid. Oh, of course. When you were talking to Gregg yesterday, you said you only go to North Acres now, right? North Acres. Yeah. Nasty place. Why? She squinted at me quizzically. Oh, it's just like, I study local history and stuff. North Acres is meant to be really good for that, right? It's kinda old-fashioned and remote, despite only being a few miles from town. I've wanted to take a look around there, but it's kind of hard to get to. Couldn't find any buses that go that way. And no way I'm paying for a taxi. Ha! Yeah, they shot down on every proposal for a bus route. I think I might be the only outside interaction they get besides the postman. They're a weird lot. I try not to spend too much time out there. Oh, you look shell-shocked. Whew, that face. She shrugged and took another drink. Just drink the PTSD away. But hey, if you want to have a peep around there, you're welcome to come along tomorrow morning. Oh, wow. I mean, if it isn't an issue. Not at all, I could use the company. Not much to do on the job, and the boss says if he catches me reading magazines at the wheel again, he'll fire me. At the wheel? Belle's phone buzzed. She took a look at it and sighed. Speaking of the great dictator, I gotta get going. Apparently the sheep have escaped from Daffodil Lane. Probably that kid opening the gate because it looked sad being closed again. Okay, why is that your trouble? She shook her head and downed the rest of her drink. I suspected I knew who she was talking about. Parsnip. Oh no. I better stick around. I still have some stuff to do in town. Well, feel free to shoot me a message tomorrow morning if you're up for a really dull adventure. She chuckled and added her number to my phone. Well, everyone really wants to hang out with me. If this was a lame dating game, I assumed they wanted to get to my pants. Fortunately, I keep my life very PG. I love this. This is great. I wasn't sure how much I believed that given recent events, but the slight hope nothing involving Nikita and her stupid play would escalate beyond comedic mischief and some rude language was reassuring. I don't play enough video games to get that joke, but haha, sure. I hadn't meant to say that out loud. Anyway, I better get going. See you around, Trix. Trix. She rolled off as calm as ever. After 4 shots. But Jesus. I finished my drink and sat around for a while, glad today had been full of distractions. Still wasn't ready to think about yesterday's events. Eventually, I knew it was time to head to Heidi's. I didn't want to be late. She apparently had a taser. I had to admit, I was slacking on my way to the Heidi shop. Drinking a pint of cola right before walking wasn't a great decision on my part. Oh, here we go. Sorry I'm late. I'm here now. Please don't tase me. Ah, Trixie, I was about to call you. Good. Thank you for coming. I was worried you might be a deal breaker. Her eyes. And then I would have to tase you. I don't think that was a joke. Why do you have a taser anyway? Is that even legal? Probably. It's for self-defense, right? And good company on lonely nights. Oh god, I love the music too. It's so great. Oh, enough effing around. We have a lot of work to do. She bundled me into her office. It was pretty small and completely cluttered with cardboard boxes. Okay, Trixie. You're gonna help me with, my side business. Spring cleaning. We're going to go through these boxes and sort the junk into these 2 other bigger boxes. Much more bigger boxes. Okay, this is the stuff to be burned box. She kicked a generic wooden crate soaked in petrol. I chose not to question her health and safety practices and just tried to avoid breathing too much. And this is stuff that might actually be worth money box. She tapped a sturdy metal safe. Okay, so what kind of stuff are we sorting through? Like extra stock or what? Just like old antiques and books. Nothing too important. Let's just get on with it, okay? I want to close on time. She dropped a cardboard box full of junk onto the desk in front of me. Sorry, I have an itchy nose today. I don't know why it's itchy, but it's itchy. Shoo! But just stop and look at that. She's got very cute stuff throughout. Plus, I really want to know whose feathers that is. Anyway. Started rooting around it and found it was full of trash. Mostly dusty books falling apart at seams and broken old antiques. But the more I looked, the more it became clear some of the stuff might actually be valuable. I pulled a golden bracelet out of the box and blew the dust off of it. Engraved onto it was a strange fish-like face with a single opal eye that seemed to stare at me. Jeez, how much money do you make selling this stuff? Heck, where do you even get this stuff in the first place? This looks expensive. Heidi shot me an annoyed look. Don't question it! So, a lot. And illegally. Got it. I chuckled to myself. Heidi seemed unamused. I carefully put the bracelet into the safe. Also, I sorted through the box. It became pretty clear there was a theme to Heidi's stuff. It was all in some way arcane. Old magic books, spooky scrolls, and even what seemed to be occult apparel, like the bracelet I'd found earlier. Hey, do you believe in any of this stuff? Monsters and magic, I mean? She looked at me for a moment, somewhat puzzled. Of course not. I'd never seen any monsters or magic. But like, don't you ever get tempted to try out any of the spells in these books? I opened up one of the thick, dusty tomes and skimmed through it looking for an example. Before I could read anything, Heidi slammed it shut on my fingers. Hey, ow! Okay, new rule. You don't look at anything for any longer than it takes to work out if it's valuable, right? Got it. No, I don't believe in this stuff, but... Look, I'd like to keep it that way, okay? I've met people who like this crap, and it messes with their heads. This stuff is best left ignored. Ignorance is bliss. She got back to work. I envied her lack of belief. I hoped with enough time my brain could finally convince me what I saw that night before was just a heat, dehydration, and spore-fueled hallucination. But I think even then I knew the truth. Ooh, ominous. Foreshadowing. Itchy nose. Apologize for that. I just... I don't know why. Heidi seemed to know that we were only inches from madness, and intended to never test that distance. We sorted through the boxes for a while. Most stuff was pretty uninteresting, but a few things caught my eye. A copper amulet, a shard of amber with a strange ancient bug frozen inside of it, looked a long-distance ancestor of a modern bee, perhaps. Manuscript detailing a ritual to summon rain. And at one point, a Dungeons and Fungeons book with Heidi's name on it, which was quickly grabbed off of me and stuffed into Heidi's desk drawer. I was getting pretty bored. Some of the stuff really looked interesting, but I knew Heidi would snap at me if I tried to look into any of it. Fortunately, there was a sound outside. Someone had walked into the shop. Heidi slinked over to the peephole in her office door suspiciously. It's a customer. Trixie, you take care of the stuff. I'll go deal with the schmuck. She walked into this shop, snapping at the customer for looking at something too strangely before the door closed behind her. I picked up one of the last items in the box, a small book titled Spiral Speeches of the Star Gods. Most of it seemed to be missing, but there was a few pages left. It sounded kind of interesting. Spiral Speeches of the Star Gods. Read it. Decided to use the chance and flick through the remnants of the book. Spiral Speeches of the Star Gods. Across the world, hundreds of tablets etched with identical spirals have been uncovered by archaeological digs. Thanks to a bird mythology, these are popularly known as the Star God tablets. Though there have been much speculation around these strange artifacts, the most obvious origin is clearly the humble sheep. What? Famously, every sheep has a near-identical spiral on their right hoof, a strange evolutionary quirk. These exactly match the spiral seen in supposedly Star God tablets. As the Star Gods are, without a doubt, entirely fictitious, the most obvious conclusion is that the ancient societies would use sheep to produce this strange art. Most likely, these etchings were painted when originally created, but any evidence of this has long since faded with time. Of course, some old bird legends would suggest that sheep created these themselves by pressing their feet into wet clay and allowing it to harden. This would make sense if not for sheep showing no signs of creativity needed to create such art, let alone the intelligence to produce clay tablets. That said, anybody who has seen the footprints of sheep can certainly agree that the process would be physically impossible for them, if unlikely. This may merely be a misinterpretation of the claim. It is entirely possible sheep were specifically trained to perform this task, or had their hooves used as tools after their death. Other bird legends describe the supposed star gods themselves creating these texts, hence their relevance to the tablets, though such stories are the realm of fantasy. The largest discovery of these relics were found in the Ash Islands of Oceania, and would have fallen from the sky after being thrown into the air by the Great Dark Age Cataclysm. This would make their original location the Siberian Wastes, the supposed home of the Star Gods. Nevertheless, the theory is ultimately the page ends there. The book has seen better days. I thought of the strange spirals on the feet of sheep. How had that come to happen? It seemed too strange to be natural. I thought of the sheep in the field when I had come across the king in yellow, and the clumps of dirty wool in the abandoned cottage. I shuddered. Sheep were weird, but harmless. Something far more sinister was at play, surely. It had been an interesting read. I threw it into the trash. It wasn't long before Heidi was back. Hey, sorry about that. Customers are a pain. Heh, you finished. Nice one. She looks generally pleased with me. Yeah. You didn't do a bad job. Seemed to think for a moment. Trixie, how would you like to help me out again? For money, I mean. Your crowbar debt is paid. Oh, wow. I've never had a job before. Maybe? Wanted to help Heidi, if just to satisfy my curiosity about her strange inventory. But I also wanted to hang out with Gregg or Belle. I wasn't sure if there was time for that too. Oh, here's where we actually have to make a decision. I am not interested in Gregg's storyline. As sweet as they are, baking, they don't interest me. They're a sweetheart, though. And Belle would be interesting to see a new place. But I'm really curious about what the heck is up with Heidi. So I'm gonna go down the Heidi path. And, yeah. I might replay if we want to see others. So, let me know in the comments if you want to see another route. Yeah, I guess that would be fun. I could use some money to buy more bat stuff. Bat stuff? Okay, sure. Tell you what, come along tomorrow at like 3 o'clock. You can help me. Plenty more work to do. She tapped one of the unsorted box. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. Right. Better start closing up. Thanks for your help. I'll see you, Trixie. I wished her a good evening and started the walk home to my bed. I could definitely use some sleep. Uh-huh. I was walking past Wilbur Hall on my way to bed when I noticed Nikita fumbling through with a vending machine. She was trying to pull a bar of toffee mullet out of its slot, but seemed to be stuck. She gave the machine a frustrated kick. The snack fell out. As she picked it up, she noticed me watching her. You were the most disheveled I've ever seen you. Oh, hello, Trixie. I'm on my way back to my room. I'm about to finish reading the, She seemed almost scared to say it. The king, yeah. Yes, the king loud. Nikita seemed skittish. Her usually tidy clothing was scuffy, her fur unbrushed, and her eyes flitted around the hallway frantically. Her constant fidgeting made her look eager to finish talking to me and get back to her room. It was like she'd been forced spin in a tumble dryer full of caffeine. Are you okay, Nikita? You seem kind of a mess. Have you been reading all day or something? Yes, I have. All day, yes. Last night, too. Preliminary research. It's been an illuminating read so far. I need to read a little more, but... Trixie. She grabbed me by the shoulders, pulling me close. I looked down at her scared eyes. I knew all too much about the reputation of the King in Yellow. I didn't want to believe it could have done this to Nikita, but this wasn't right. Trixie, I need to make some notes and, I need to double check, read between the lines, but never mind. We can discuss this later, when I'm certain. She let go of me. I better get back to my room. Yes. Good night, Trixie. She did a sort of shaky, fast walk away from me towards the accommodation block. Bye, Nikita. I was scared. Could this really have been the work of that play? I shook my head. This had to be sleep deprivation. She'd barely slept in weeks with her campaign planning and coursework. I didn't like Nikita, but I was generally worried about her health. I figured I'd let her finish reading and get some sleep. I could always make sure she was okay in the morning. Eventually got back to my room and collapsed onto my bed. It's been a busy day. I was planning to muck about on my laptop when I got tired enough to sleep, but it was on my desk and I couldn't be bothered to get back out of bed. I remember the book about ghosts I'd gotten a hold of a few weeks back. It was probably still on the floor, next to the bed. I remember it being pretty tacky. Peering over the edge, I could see it was. After my sighting in the basement, I thought it might be relevant. If I was going to stay awake a little longer, I thought I may as well use my time productively. Uh-oh. Tabby? Okay, before I could reach for the book, my phone buzzed. Tabby had sent me a message. That was unexpected. I didn't talk to Tabby often, which is sad, because I kind of wish we were friends, but I don't think she really notices me. Oh, Tabby is who, Nikita's running against. I totally forgot about that. I mean, between, like, the haunted house and abandoned rooms and everything else, I guess, that it makes sense. I used to think she was kind of weird, but after the last week, I have to admit, I'm taking her more seriously. I wasn't sure if I could handle a conversation with her right then, but I did think it was kind of nice to talk to someone. Click. Message Tabby. Tabitha Knight. Hey Trixie, one of my sacred crystals, the green spiral aligned one, went missing. I was wondering if you've seen it anywhere. Hey, sorry Tabby, I haven't seen it. When did it go missing? No worries. Someone today, I think. Oh no, I'll keep an eye out for it. Trizzy. Hey Tabby, do you know the King in Yellow? Sorry not to bother you, just wondering if you're not busy. Oh yes, the infamous haunted play, I know it. I can't say I've read it though. Why, you researching it or something? I heard that's generally a bad idea. Not to discourage you, I bet it would be a great study for next year. No, I'm not going to read it. I'm pretty sure it doesn't even exist anymore. I was just wondering if you knew much about it. You're a great student. Haha, so she's putting this text conversation into... Okay, yeah. We just acknowledge this, but it just keeps hitting me in waves. Well, I have to be if I want to be the student union president next year, right? I read a few books on it at the uni library. Maybe you could get them out? The notes of the Grand Inquisitor Wilhelm were really good for obvious reasons. Anyway, I gotta get some sleep. I'm going to Wolfest South tomorrow in town. Going to be super hot in my costume. Lol. Not in the way, you cheeky rat. Maybe you should come to the Wolcon with me, someone. If you're into that. Maybe. I'll let you get some sleep. Thanks, Tabby. I'll look out for your crystal. Tabby is nice. I don't really know if she likes me or not. She's kinda was hitting on you. I wasn't super keen on the idea of going to Wolcon. Dressing as a sheep and whiffing, or whatever they do at those cons, didn't sound super appealing. Regardless, it was time to sleep. Oh. I had a surprisingly pleasant, if somewhat strange dream. I was a clerk marrying Nikita to a giant toffee mullet bar, and then I married the entire cast of Cyber Drake Cool-Ass from Mars. Parsnip was there jumping up and down, throwing confetti. Let's not get into it. Regardless, it was a welcome break from the horrid dreams I'd had the night before. I woke up feeling a lot better. It was pretty early in the morning, but I sent Nikita a message anyway. I didn't get a response and assumed she was finally gotten to sleep. I could check again tonight if she was still MIA. I could let security or the campus director know she was acting funny. That said, I knew she wouldn't do the same for me. I lazed around in bed for a while until I felt too gross to not shower any longer. Once I was entirely somewhat functional, I decided to work out what to do. I remembered I promised to help Heidi again. I was hoping I wouldn't regret signing up for boring junk sorting, but it couldn't help but be intrigued by her side business, whatever it was. And some of the stuff she might have been cool to look at, even if it was just tat. With last night's encounter with Nikita all but forgotten, I had made myself somewhat presentable and headed to town. Hey. Heidi seemed somewhat surprised to see me. Good of you to show up, Trixie. Ready for a day of work? She grinned and bundled me into her office. I wasn't ready for a day of hard work. I never am. I was tired after half an hour. Lifting stuff is an effort, a lot of effort. I persevered though, and after a few hours we were pretty much done. I noticed Heidi's shop didn't get much traffic. Though the amount of money her secret stock was worth, I wasn't sure that was an issue. I was about to comment on the lack of customers when I heard the shop's faint door open. A customer had arrived. Heidi snuck over to the office door and peered through the spy hole. Of course. She opened the door and beckoned me into the shop. A familiar face was waiting for us. Hey, Gregg. We were just in the back, not fucking each other or anything. Ha ha ha. She forced out the laugh out. She closed the door behind us. Gregg giggled. I was a little offended. I didn't think I'm really the effing kind of person. Unless it involved monsters or cyberbat. Razor, maybe. Hi, friends. You're here for those boxes? You bet. Is that okay? I don't want to cause any trouble if you need them. Nah. Take as many as you need. What do you need them for, anyway? You making a delivery or something? It's for boxing things. I'm going to put things in the box. Their eyes flitted back and forth. I'm boxing the wedding cake I made for those two mice. The cake's going in the box. Yep. Makes sense. It certainly did. Anyway, I better get back and box that cake. See you later, pals. But he was supposed to deliver, so they were supposed to deliver it yesterday. Did they not deliver it? Did something go wrong with their delivery? They looked very suspicious. Did they murder the mice and then put them into the boxes? I have so many theories. Later, dude. Have a nice time boxing the cake. Gregg hurried out of the shop, the cardboard box held above their head. They looked pretty ridiculous. Okay, Trixie, we've got a few things left to go through before we're done. Let's not waste any time. It took longer than I would have liked, but eventually finished sorting for the day. I almost collapsed, exhausted. I was amazed at how much junk Heidi had collected. I still really wanted to find out what this stuff came from. For educational reasons only, obviously. That's enough for today. Good work. She pulled out a wad of money from her pocket. 75. How's that sound? You can buy a lot of tats with that. Cool. Never been paid for a job before. Besides, the time I got given 10 to throw a rock through someone's window. Though it was less a job and more a paid act of vandalism. Like being a soldier. Oh hey, you like whiskey, Trixie? Oh, I mean, I haven't tried it. I love whiskey. Whiskey is like my favorite. I don't drink often. I'm pretty bad with alcohol. Besides, I better head back to my room and get some sleep, you know? Well, feel free to have a bottle anyway. I have tons of stuff. Think of it as a work benefit. Oh, sure then. It might be tasty? Knock yourself out. I mean, don't, like, take it slow. Alcohol. Know your limits. Oh, great PSA. She opened her own bottle and downed half of it. Oh no. I thanked her and headed home. I drank the entire bottle within 10 minutes of leaving when my phone rang. Oh my god, no. Never. Don't do that. No. Oh. Trixie. Something's come up. Can you come help me out again? Fortunately, I avoided the whiskey's evil effects so far and was able to answer. Hi. Why are you shouting? Mostly. Sorry, I can be there, in a few minutes? Great. See you then. Managed to find my way back to Heidi's. It only took about twice as long as it should have. Hi! Kind of fell through the door. I tried to turn it into some kind of cool dance move, but I don't think it worked. Wait, Trixie, are you drunk? Ugh, seriously? Yep. I tried to do a cool grin, but I'm pretty sure it just looked sleazy. Great, well you better sober up, because it's too late to rearrange this mess now. I need you to go make a delivery for me while I meet my supplier. I hope it's not drugs. It'd be very illegal. I giggled myself for a bit, apparently finding the concept of drug prohibition hilarious. Heidi just shook her head in despair. I realized I needed to get my act together and managed to brute force sobriety for a while. Sorry, Heidi, yeah, I'm okay now. I can totally hand over some drugs for you. Easy! Heidi, don't look wholly impressed with my joke. Apparently, only I found myself funny when I'm drunk. It's not drugs, it's sort of crap we've been sorting. That stuff has... well, it's a very specific clientele and I sell it in alleyways. Look, don't worry about it too much. We don't have time to mess about. No, there's something else you'll need. Okay, wait, hold. Okay, so explain again why I'm dressed as a pixie or whatever. That looks freaking terrifying. Oh, all the symbols? A pixie? Have you ever seen a pixie before? They don't look anything like that. I meant goblin. Oops. I giggled to myself for a minute before calming down again. Behave. Now, Trixie. You're no longer Trixie. In this costume, you are Delilah Moonbeam, Keeper of the Cosmic Secrets. Is this your frickin' Dungeons and Fungeons character, Heidi? I started cackling to myself. Heidi seemed a lot less cool and edgy now. Heidi's face was red with embarrassment, but she quickly regained composure and swatted me lightly around the head. Hey! Shut the heck up! Delilah Moonbeam is my illegal antique book selling alter ego. That way, the weirdos who buy this crap don't recognize me and come stalk me. So, don't heck this up, let anybody know who you are, and don't heckin' tell people about this, or I'm gonna end you, okay? Sounded pretty serious, so I shut up. Okay, so you're going to want to use a different voice. I usually do a deep, scary one. I wasn't going to do that. Talking a deep voice made me feel like heck. And another thing as it might be, I'll always choose to kill my vocal cords and talk how I want to over my normal voice, or worse, an over-the-top deep one. I figured I'd just talk kinda slowly and weird, like a cartoon ghost. Psst, I'll take it. Trixie, shut up. Kids need to learn your alcohol tolerances. I giggled in my breath a little more, but managed to shut up. Okay, as I was saying, you're heading into the alleyway next to Pound Town, that cheap tat shop, like 10 minutes from here. Someone will meet you there. You take the payment, then you give them the books, then you leave. Got it? Yeah, I got you. Spooky voice, don't show my face. My name is Delilah Moonbeam, alleyway, going to Pound Town. Give the books, get the payment. Easy. Heidi didn't look super convinced, but before she could comment, she glanced at the clock. Heck, you're gonna be late if you don't get going. Just don't muck this up for me, Trixie, please. I'll pay you well for it when you're back, I promise. Heidi handed me 2 wrapped books and bundled me outdoor with some vague directions to Pound Town. Wasn't too far from the shop, so even in my inebriated state, I got there pretty quickly. I waited around in the dark alleyway, hoping I wasn't late. Just as I was thinking about leaving, I caught sight of movement in darkness. An odd figure shuffled towards me. They forced themselves towards me on clumsy, rigid legs. They wore a heavy hooded cloak, which shrouded their face in darkness, from which yellow eyes gleamed towards me. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. Matted figure. Delilah. Their voice was strange. It rasped every sound and cut out suddenly at the end of every phoneme? Ooh, I'm Delilah Moonbeam. Ooh. The figure's hooded head jerked up and down. I think it was supposed to be a nod. Ta. Figure twitched, almost seeming to collapse briefly before jutting back up. Oh my god. Oh, that's creepy. You know those old, really old toys in which you have, the figure with the taut string? And you'd press the button and, the string would slacken, and so, the figure would just collapse, and then you'd let go, and they would tighten back up again? That's what I'm assuming that is. So creepy. Before I could ask if they were alright, they spoke again. The payment has discussed. The figure shakily and judderingly extended a hoofed hand to me. Their arm was covered in matted, dirty wool, parts of which were shedding to reveal what seemed to be dark, deep peck marks. I thought of the abandoned cottage and the clumps of matted wool lying within and shuddered. The thought of the dark stain and the bird feathers lost in the scuffle. A coincidence, surely, but still not something that bore thinking about. Despite their arm ending with a hoof, this creature was clearly no cow. It appeared almost sheep-like, though I knew that was impossible. It dropped what seemed to be several peels in the beautiful sapphire, inlaid circlet into my outstretched hand. The valuable items sparkled in the starlight. I almost thought about stealing them to pay off my student debt, but I'd probably need a few diamonds on top of that to even make a dent in that. Besides, Heidi had a taser. One which you neglected to give me for this meeting. Great. I put the treasures into my bag and took out the first package. I gingerly held out the package forward, and the matted finger clumsily took it from my hands. Thank you, friend. And the next... This matted figure was off-putting. I'm going to get out of here as fast as possible and never see them again. No problem. I sputtered out. I was about to pass them the second package when I felt sick. Drinking that much whiskey had been a mistake. The last thing I needed was to throw up inside that mask. There wasn't anywhere for it to go. Took off the mask and was pleased to find I just needed to burp. I almost yelled, realizing what I did. Oh, that's unsettling. My eyes looked into the 2 yellow pinpricks under the stranger's hood. I could swear I saw a flash of recognition. I quickly put the mask back on, almost dropping it in my panic. Neither are good. Neither are good. So claimed my face was actually a second mask. That's not gonna work. Try to distract them and run away. Neither are going to work. However, I do want to see her try and clumsily explain the second mask. I wanted to yelp and run, but I managed to keep my cool, apparently forgetting to put a voice on in the meantime. Okay, so I probably think he's probably me, but that's actually nope. For you see, I am wearing 2 masks, several actually. This... I tapped the mask smugly. Was but a first. My face was but a second. I mean, my mask was but a second. It was my mask. My face. What? Oh, I thought that might have worked and swayed on the spot for a bit. My heart dropped. Under the hood, I saw a glint of malicious smile. I knew the strange matted figure had not believed me. I was about to hand over the package and run, but I freaked out. Next thing I knew, I was running down the alleyway, the figure following me with loud footsteps of strange, hard hoof-like feet. My heart raced. The unnatural creature in the hallway filled me with dread. Something about the appearance, mannerisms, and even the air around them chilled me to the bone. I threw open the door to Heidi's shop. He ran straight back to Heidi's shop. Of course you led them to Heidi's shop. Ran to the office, relieved to see Heidi was already back. You're back already? Good work. I owe you one. Get the costume off. You can both go get some sleep. Took the costume off and packed it away like Heidi had asked. I took my time, but I couldn't find it. I couldn't put it off any longer. So, Heidi, there was a little fuck up, and they saw my face, kinda. What? You showed your face to them? Are you kidding? I gave you a fucking mask. Specifically, so this wouldn't happen. Do you know how much danger you've put us in? You know that people who buy this crap are real psychos, right? Like, completely unhinged. I knew she would be mad, but her sound generally afraid surprised me. Nope. Nope. Tell her the truth. Okay, so I explained the entire meeting. Heidi listened and seemed to calm down as I spoke, much to my relief. I'm sorry for shouting at you, Trixie. I didn't mean to scare you. I have a bit of a temper and this is serious stuff. Come on, it'll be fine. Let's get you home safe and we can talk about it tomorrow when you're feeling better. My motorbike's out front. You can sit in the sidecar. Don't throw up on it, because then I will be pissed. For once, I appreciated a laugh, but I wasn't sure I could promise that. Before we could leave, the front door swung open and the cool night air followed into shut. Like, I feel uneasy with this. Good evening, friends. I seemed to see the worry on my face. Trixie says. I nodded. Still stuck to the spot. I couldn't believe I'd let this happen. Heidi pushed me back and growled through bared teeth as she grabbed her around her bat. What do you want? The figure jerkily raised their arm and pointed at me. That rat. That book. Leave Trixie the heck alone. Leave now. The book. The figure lurched forward. Wrong move. Get it, Heidi. Heidi leapt forward and swung the bat as hard as she could. She clearly had a lot of practice. There was Oh! Oh! It was a terrible crack as the figure's arm broke. I cringed at the sound, but was shocked to see them continue their advance. Either way, they didn't notice their arm was fractured, or didn't care. Heidi threw her bat to the ground and pulled out her taser. Get it. She charged the figure and began wrestling with them, but seemed unable to budge them, as if they were carved from solid stone. The book, return. Get out. Heidi jammed her taser into the cloaked figure's woolen arm, forcing contact between them. The figure pulled away with a start. Heidi fell to the floor. In their absence, the wool Heidi had been tasering had ignited. A small fire spread up the creature's arm. The matted figure flew out of the door with force as it yanked off stage by a cane. As if it was swept out of the shop, I was sure I caught a glimpse of a woolly white face. A creature that should not exist. The shop fell silent. It'd been a while before Heidi spoke up. Trixie, let's get you home. We can talk about this tomorrow, okay? I nodded. Okay, so I'm gonna leave you on this happier note. That was terrifying. Jesus. Oh. Fascinating. I love it. I love it so much. It's so good. Alright. But with that, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you for joining me again. Subscribe, hit the like button, share this, because, like, this is fascinating. I love it so much. It's, like, delightfully queer. It's got all of the just randomness and, like, internet subculture in here. But it also has just these creepy moments, like these just unsettling moments that are fascinating. I love it so much. Okay, with that, I love you all. I'll see you later. Bye!